All right, what's good, everyone? Welcome back to your Friday edition of Livewire Sports Media. All right, so we got breaking news yesterday. Something I couldn't even get to because I was a little busy. But anyway, so the WNBA and the Players Association. Well, we already know what today is. Today is the 31st. Yep. So the WNBA and the WNBAPA Players Union had come to a 30-day extension, which we all said that was going to happen, most likely. But then the recent reports came out and said that the players didn't want an extension unless it was under certain conditions. Now we all trying to figure out what these conditions is and what these conditions may consist of. Well, guess what? I got it for you. Pretty crazy. These players they don't lost their mind. So you have right here, making sure y'all can read that a little bit. The WNBA and the WNBAPA agreed to Thursday to 30-day extension of the current collective bargaining agreement through November the 30th. Sources confirmed by ESPN. So I'm going to click on the article so we can go into more detail to read more about it. And then on top of that, not only they want a 30-day agreement, but then this right here by Annie Constable that just came up said that the WNBA executive committee agreed to a 30-day league agreed to a league's proposed 30-day extension of the current CBA, which the current conditions that the players may terminate the extension at any time with 48 hours notice. So, okay. So if they agreed to extension yesterday, and today will be marked 24 hours, they can terminate the notice on November 1st, but they have to give a notice. So let me read this again, just to make sure I get more clarity in this, because this is retarded. Excuse my language. It's kind of bananas. It's bananas. So the WNBAPA Executive Committee agreed to the league's proposal 30-day extension of the current CBA with the condition that the players may terminate the extension at any time with 48 hours notice. While we believe negotiations will be further along, the players are more focused, united, and determined than ever to reach an agreement that reflects their value and undeniable impact on the league. Well, guess what? Your undeniable impact on the league is based on Caitlin Clark. That's just being honest with you. It's based on Caitlin Clark. It ain't based on what you was doing. It ain't based on what you was doing throughout the years. It's based on what Caitlin Clark has generated in this league when she stepped foot on in 2024. Y'all trying to capitalize on something that y'all didn't even put work into. Y'all had the opportunity for the last CBA to put the work in and hit certain stipends and hitting certain benchmarks, but y'all didn't do that. Well, y'all was giving stipends, but y'all needed to hit certain benchmarks, which y'all didn't do that. But then all of a sudden, Caitlin Clark came in with this new wave, and all of a sudden said, "Oh, well, the league is making money now," But y'all didn't want to give Caitlin Clark any credit. Now, recently, Nafisha Collier came out there throwing Caitlin Clark's name under the bus for the second time in a Glam magazine, talk about, well, Caitlin Clark only get paid $80,000 on her rookie deal, but she brought in, came into the league bringing in tens of thousands of millions of dollars into the league. But you didn't say that last year because you didn't thought it was going to be sustained. But now y'all knew y'all was getting a new collective bargaining agreement. Y'all all want to jump on board and say, "Oh, we pay us what y'all owe us." Y'all wasn't talking that. Because if Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Cameron Brink, all of them didn't come out, or whatever the case would be, y'all wouldn't even been talking about that. Y'all would have been happy to agree with every deal that the league would have gave y'all. But no, y'all seen all this money generating, and y'all think the league has money like that. It don't work like that, people. It don't work like that at all. So let me go ahead into this article real quick to break down a little bit insight to see what these people really talking about right here. So it says the WNBA and Players Association agreed to extend a CBA to 30-day notice. Article written by Kelvin Playton. So, with the WNBA collective bargaining agreement set to expire Friday, the league and the WNBAPA agreed to a 30-day extension of the current CBA throughout November 30th, a bit with one caveat. The Players Association acknowledged Friday. The WNBAPA Executive Committee agreed to the league's proposal of a 30-day extension of the current CBA notice, with the conditions that the players may terminate the extension at any time within 48 hours notice. Read a statement from the Player Association. While we believe the negotiations will be further along, the players are more focused, united, and determined than ever to reach an agreement that reflects the value and undeniable impact of the league, which I already went over there and explained it to y'all. Expiration of the current CBA deal will have opened the door to a possible strike by the players or a lockout initiated by the owners. So let me go back to this. So, say for instance, if the owners did initiate a lockout, do the owners have the right to replace the players and end the lockout and work off of the old CBA deal, or work not with a deal in place? That's something I'll need to look up more, because I have seen it before once in history. Once in history. Well, it happened many times before, but I do remember the year with the Washington Redskins. That year they went to the Super Bowl, and there was a strike year that they had got replacement players. So if the league decided to lock out, could they initially just replace the players and end the lockout and just continue the season until they come to an agreement with the players? That's pretty interesting. I think I'm really going to dig more deep into that, because there might be a separate video down the line while this was going on. Anyway, so the ESPN report Tuesday that the WNBA had offered players an extension. The two sides agreed to a 60-day extension before, back in 2019, and they got the deal done by the 20th of January. So, well, not the 20th of January, but 2020 of January. There has been multiple meetings this week between the WNBA and the WNBAPA. The WNBPA, as part of a negotiation which centers around how the league's salary cap is structured. The WNBA has proposed sizable increase by the WNBA since the last CBA was signed. So, though the league proposal maintains revenue targets that could allow players to share the future growth, the salary cap will remain fixed during the deal if those targets are not met. The WNBPA has countered with an offer that will tie the salary cap to basketball's relevant income, similar to the way the NBA, NFL, and NHL have long operated. Let me see something. So they said that the players had offered a deal, and if those targets, well, the WNBPA has countered with an offer that would tie the salary cap to basketball related income. But that's the problem. You can't do that, because this league has not been in existence that long. If this league was 100 years old or 75 years old, then I could see the players getting that salary cap offer tied with them, like the NBA, the NFL, and the NHL. You got to think the NBA, the NFL, and the NHL been in the league way longer than them. Now, they say the National Women's Soccer League also adopted a model that shared revenue in its most recent CBA signed last year. I wonder how long the National Women's Soccer League been in existence. So for them to be able to do that, and how many teams they have too, that could be another thing too. So let me see here. So the Women's Soccer League was founded in November the 21st, 2012, and began play in its inauguration in 2013. Um, the league has existed for approximately 12 years and is currently active. So they've been a shorter time. I'm gonna see how many teams they had. But I think also soccer generates more money than the WNBA. Soccer is really big. So that's another thing. So that's another thing. So they currently have 14 teams in the league. They currently have 14 teams in the league. And they're adding a 15 team, they're going to 16 teams in next year. So I think, because to me personally, I think that soccer is bigger than the WNBA. They have more value than the WNBA. And I think they are able to do that a little bit better, because soccer is a universal sport, universal. So, and it's big. It's a big sport. The WNBA hasn't generated that. If you put the success, look, if I type up right now the success, um the success between these two leagues, and I think there will be a big difference. So both the WNBA and the Women's Soccer League are currently experiencing significant and rapid growth, but they are in different development stages and operate with different financial models. The WNBA prepares to be more established in terms of consistent attendance and a robust national-wide presence in the United States, while the National Women's Soccer League, heavily relying on funding from men's Premier League clubs, is focused on achieving profitability. So, the Women's Soccer League has seen significant time devoted to watching TV, adding by broadcast details with Sky and BBNC. The attendance is rising, though it can be significant by venture, while major clubs attract larger crowds. So, in other words, the Women's Soccer League actually draws more viewership and more crowds than the WNBA, and is more watchable. And they also revenue hit record high in 2025, with increasing match day revenue driven by attendance growth. However, most women's soccer league teams operate at a loss, often between 5M to 10M annually. So they still not making money. They don't lose as much money as the WNBA does, but in terms of how they make their money, because they are backed by another league, they are able to make that. It was like 50 or 40 million behind the whole. So, and they haven't really generated a lot of money throughout the years. They've been existing for what, almost 30 years. And this league only been in existence for what, 12 years, and has outperformed them. That goes show to the structure of how one sport has a great backing, because it's more popular, a little bit more popular. If the NBA start with these agendas, because you look at it golf and with soccer, you don't really see agenda hidden stuff. There could be some there, but at the same time, guess what? You look at this, what the WNBA is doing, they hurting themselves. The players in the league are hurting themselves. And they could probably got that model, but they're not really making that much money. So I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. But guess what? Y'all still on the clock. There ain't no lockout. There ain't no strike. You still got 30 days. But guess what? As selfish as these players is, I won't be surprised if they kill this 30-day notice tomorrow. Don't be surprised. Like, comment, subscribe. It's your Friday freestyle. It's your Friday freestyle Friday with Live Rock Sports Media. You know who it is. It's the Wire.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live Wire. It's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it. So official, like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying.